You've got 60 seconds to get it exactly right, or you're fired.
Count my fortune or you're fired. Mr. Carlyle's voice struck like a thunderclap, reverberating off the marble columns and high ceilings of the private office. Sunlight streamed through tall windows, casting long shadows across. The mahogany desk, where meticulous stacks of $100 bills gleamed like gold ingots. 10 bundles per row, 5 rows deep, every bundle perfectly aligned. Amina's heart thundered beneath her starched gray uniform as she stood at the edge of that desk, feeling its smooth leather edge press into her palms. Mr. Carlyle lounged in his oversized leather chair, arms casually crossed, a sneer tugging at the corner of his mouth. His sharp eyes tracked her every move, amusement dancing in their depths. Outside the door, muffled conversations of curious guests and staff grew louder. A hush fell as they sensed something extraordinary about to unfold. A gilded clock on the wall ticked ominously, each second a countdown on her future. Amina forced herself to breathe steadily. Inhale, exhale, inhale. The challenge was brutal, yet simple. Estimate at a glance the exact total of more than $100,000 in under a minute. Success meant doubled pay and grudging respect. Failure meant the humiliating door and unemployment for her younger brother and their grandmother's rent. The timer's red light blinked. Mr. Carlyle's assistant hovered nearby, hand poised over a stopwatch. In the hush, Amina remembered her grandmother's gentle voice. Numbers are just puzzles waiting to be solved. That memory steadied her trembling fingers. She lifted her chin and met Mr. Carlyle's gaze. No more hesitation. The $1,000,000 test had begun. Amina surveyed the stacks once more. Under the uniform's crisp lines, gray fabric perfectly pressed, white collar starched, apron shining, her mind raced with recollections. She recalled childhood mornings in her grandmother's tiny kitchen, where sunlight filtered through lace curtains and the scent of freshly baked cinnamon rolls mingled with the sharp tang of citrus. There, she learned to count rice grains by sight, grouping them into dozens and hundreds without a single jot of paper. Her fingers grazed the first bundle. 10 bundles per row, 5 rows, plenty of structure, but the math still threatened to overwhelm. Across the room, Mr. Carlyle's silhouette was rigid, his posture radiating contempt. He saw only a uniform, not the resourceful young woman beneath. Amina's thoughts drifted to last night's walk home beneath flickering street lamps. Her younger brother, eyes bright despite empty plates at dinner, had asked, "Do you think tomorrow will be better?" She'd squeezed his hand and promised him she'd try. Every dollar she earned meant school supplies for him, rent for their grandmother, and maybe enough left for a hot meal. This job was more than chores. It was hope incarnate. She exhaled slowly, letting gratitude and responsibility sharpen her focus. The uniform she wore symbolized service, but numbers were her secret strength. Each bundle now looked less like a challenge and more like pieces of a familiar puzzle. A distant murmur from the adjoining room intensified her concentration. Her palms were cool against the cash. She lifted her eyes, squared her shoulders, and allowed a flicker of determination to light her gaze. She would prove that intellect and integrity know no social bounds. The heavy door swung open, revealing Mr. Carlyle's assistant in immaculate attire. Her heels clicked on polished marble as she announced, "Time starts. Now." With a deft motion, she pressed a button, and the red timer light illuminated the desk. A low whir from the stopwatch filled the air. Mr. Carlyle leaned forward, folding his hands deliberately. The chandelier above scattered prisms across the room, each glint mocking Amina's predicament. Beyond the windows, distant traffic hummed, indifferent to the drama behind closed doors. Sirens wailed in the city below, a reminder that life's pressures existed far beyond this gilded cage. "Remember," Mr. Carlyle's voice was silky but edged with steel. estimate precisely. If you're correct, the money is yours. If you err, your services end by day's close. His tongue tasted of arrogance as he spoke, each word designed to belittle. Amina felt the weight of every eye upon her, servants pressed against the hallway glass, curious guests craning their necks. The air seemed to thicken, heavy with anticipation. She inhaled the faint scent of polished wood and fresh ink from ledgers stacked on a side table. Anxiety pulsed, but beneath it, a spark. This was her moment. Her uniform felt suddenly empowering, a symbol of purpose rather than inferiority. With measured grace, she shifted her stance, aligning her fingers at the edge of the first bundle. The assistant's stopwatch ticked. Mr. Carlyle's smirk gleamed in the lamplight. The arena was set. A flutter of whispers rippled through the onlookers. Some guests exchanged amused glances, betting on her failure. "She'll never get it," a young socialite whispered, painted nails tapping the glass. A footman smirked. A fellow maid glanced at Amina's trembling hands and shook her head. Prejudice hung in the air, thicker than the chandelier's dust. 30 seconds left, the assistant intoned, voice strained. Amina's pulse spiked. Each tick was a drumbeat threatening her livelihood. Mr. Carlyle leaned back, folding his arms, confident she'd falter. He taunted, "I've lined up 3 more applicants smarter than you, ready to count this by heart." Mocking faces peeked through the door crack, waiting for the punchline. Her failure. A tear threatened, but Amina blinked it away. Doubt flickered, but she reclaimed her center. This was no longer about pleasing Mr. Carlyle. It was about proving that worth isn't measured by station. She pressed her thumb to the top bundle. 1. She tapped her knuckle. 2. Her breath steadied. 3. The rhythm of counting took over, each tap against her finger anchoring her in the moment. The snickers from the hallway faded as her concentration sharpened. The injustice that had stung her now fueled her resolve. Yellow light pulsed. 10 seconds. The crowd stiffened, leaning in. Every second stretched like taffy. Amina envisioned. Her grandmother's smile, heard her gentle voice guiding her. The hum of the city, the chandelier's prisms, the assistant's stopwatch, all receded. Only her counting remained. As the timer ticked down, Amina's memory transported her to her grandmother's cozy kitchen. Sunbeams danced on faded wallpaper while the kettle whistled shrilly. On the worn wooden table lay a ledger, yellowed pages scribbled with sums. "Numbers are like friends," her grandmother had said, knobby fingers guiding Amina's small hands to group rice grains into neat piles of 10. "They give themselves up, if you listen." She recalled the sweetness of cinnamon rolls cooling on a rack, the sharp zest of lime in homemade lemonade, and the gentle rhythm of her grandmother's voice. Those lessons weren't just about math. They were about patience, curiosity, and seeing patterns in chaos. Another memory surfaced, a school day when bullies mocked her homemade lunch and she used quick arithmetic to calculate how many pennies she'd need to buy a sandwich. Her classmates' laughter had turned to stunned silence when she answered before the teacher. Even then, she'd learned that knowledge commands respect. The final strands of memory unraveled. Her grandmother's proud wink after Amina solved a particularly tricky sum, her gentle reminder that numbers never lie. Gratitude washed over her, calming the tremor in her palms. The story wasn't only about money, it was a tribute to the woman who had taught her resilience through arithmetic. Amina whispered an unsteady, "Thank you," channeling that warmth into her final taps. The flashbacks melded with the present, giving her the clarity she needed. 5, 4, 3, 2. The stopwatch's final tick reverberated like a gunshot. A hush fell. In that suspended moment, only Amina's voice cut through. $100,000. Her words echoed, precise and unwavering. The silence stretched, taut as a wire. Then Mr. Carlyle's jaw dropped. The assistant's stopwatch clattered on the desk. Guests exhaled as shock rippled through the room. A single, tentative clap broke the tension, soon joined by rousing applause. Amina's. Breath caught. She had done it. Silence reigned for a heartbeat before Mr. Carlyle rose, shoulders stiff. His smug demeanor fractured, replaced by reluctant admiration. He stepped from behind the desk, picking up the top bundle of cash. His words dripped with arrogance as he spoke. "Incredible. You were right." Murmurs of astonishment filled the room. The guests, once scornful, now offered genuine smiles and congratulations. The head maid approached, wiping tears from her eyes. Amina felt warmth bloom in her chest. Pride, relief, vindication. Mr. Carlyle cleared his throat. "As promised, the money is yours, and your salary is doubled, effective immediately." He hesitated, gaze locked on Amina's calm expression. "I misjudged you," he admitted. "It won't happen again." Amina nodded, tucking the folded cash into her apron pocket. She stepped forward, offering a courteous bow. "Thank you, sir." Her voice was steady, dignified. Tension melted into a celebratory buzz. The assistant's smirk turned into a grin. Guests exchanged excited whispers, and fellow staff clapped her on the back. Amina realized that power need not be taken. By force, skill, dignity, and quiet confidence could claim it instead. In the weeks that followed, the mansion transformed. Amina reorganized the household accounts, identifying wasteful expenses and reallocating funds toward charitable initiatives. She proposed sponsoring scholarships for underprivileged children, beginning with her grandmother's old school. Mr. Carlyle, humbled by her integrity, appointed her as his advisor on all philanthropic projects. One golden afternoon, they walked through the courtyard's rose garden. "You've changed more than my mind," Mr. Carlyle said, pausing beneath an arch of climbing vines. "You've changed my heart." Amina smiled, recalling her grandmother's wisdom that courage and compassion go hand in hand. Across town, her brother flourished in an after-school program funded by Carlyle's donations. He read aloud passages from books he never thought he'd own. Their grandmother beamed with pride at her first school visit in years. Amina's act of courage had rippled outward, proof that one moment of steadfast resolve can spark transformation in countless lives. She understood now that wealth alone doesn't define worth. Empathy, skill, and integrity do. Now I have one question for you. Faced with Amina's challenge, would you take it or give up? Comment your choice below, and let's see who's ready to prove themselves. If you found inspiration here, smash that like button, share with someone who needs a reminder of their potential, and subscribe for more empowering stories of grit and redemption.